Dear students and viewers of my class, so welcome to subject of cryptography and network security. So in continuation of the previous class, so before going to that, I would like to introduce myself. I am Dr. Anjaya, working as professor of CSC, Saint Peterson in College, Hyderabad. So now today's class would like to see this key management, how we are going to manage these keys, how we are able to perform these keys. We will see in detail. So there are two key address issues here. The public key encryption helps to address a key distribution problems. Now here the two aspects of this key management is distribution of public key and how to use the effective public key encryption and how we are going to distribute the secret keys. So this is about the brief overview of how we are going to manage the keys, right? So now distribution of public keys. So the following are the four types of categories of distribution of public keys. First one is public announcement. Second one is publicly available directory. And third one is public key authority. And fourth one is public key certificates. So these are the four types of categories of distribution of public keys. We will discuss in detail one by one. So coming to first one is public announcement. So here, what actually public announcement? So users distribute public keys to recipients or broadcast to community at large. Example appended PGP keys to email message or post to news or groups or email list. So as we know, there are so many recipients with the respect of email, right? So in between the embedded working of email is PGP. So we are going to appended a few PGP keys in the email. With the help of that email only, we are going to reach each and every groups. So this is about regarding how we are distributing public keys broadcast at large. The major weakness of this email is public announcement is, let us take email or some other broadcast technique. So any public announcement, the major weakness is goes to forgery. So anyone can create a key and claiming it to be someone else and broadcast it. So and until forgery is discovered, can masquerade as claimed user. So these are the weakness of this public announcement. Now coming to next one is publicly available directory. Can obtain greater security by registering keys with the public directory, and the directory must contain the following fields. Let us take it contains name, public key, all these entries, and the participants register securely with the directory, and participants can replace key at any time. Directory is periodically published, and directory can be accessed electronically. So all these properties is maintained by the directory, and still some vulnerability tampering or forgery is happening for this publicly available directory also. This also has some little bit vulnerability in this publicly available directory also. And next coming to a public key authority. So what actually public key authority is? It improves security by tightening control over distribution of keys from directory and has the properties of directory and requires users to know public key for the directory. Then users interact with the directory to obtain and any desired public key securely. So these are the public key authorities. It's require real-time access to directory when keys are needed. So this is about regarding how we are going to give the authority of public key. Improve the security. So security is important. Then we are maintaining some properties of directory same and requires to know public key of the directory and interact with the directory to obtain desired public key securely. So these are the different ways of how we are going to give the authority to accessing with respect to directory, right? Next, public key certificates. So what is certificates? How we are going to uh, use this public key certificates? Certificates allows key exchange without real-time access to public key authority. A certificate binds identity to public key, usually with other information such as period of validity, rights of use, etc. So with all content signed by trusted public key or certificate authority, and it can be verified anyone who knows the public key authorities public key. Now here what happens is the public key certificates basically, so it maintains some time bound, the rights validity, all these maintained by the public key authority and public key certificates. So next we will see how this public key certificate will works basically with the help of diagram. So here sender A, receiver B, two parties are involving in the communication. Before communication takes place initially, so public key certificates in this process sender A, party A, right? Party A, sender A. So it can take certificate, it can request to the certificate authority with help of public key of A. So here A of public key PU. So it can send the request to the certificate authority. Then certificate authority issue the certificate. So C of A, certificate of A equals to encryption of PR, private key of authority. This is time one. So identification of A with help of public key of A. So with help of all these factors, certificate authority issues certificate to the A. So right. So then certificate authority is given to the A. The next step, what happens is B. B is ready for this. How they are going to get certificate. So initially, so B request with help of its public key. PU of B. Public key of B. Request is to certificate authority. Then certificate authority once again given grant certificate to the B. So here certificate of B is equals to encryption of private key of authority of the certificate authority, time to time relation to, and identification of B and public key of B. So with help of these factors, so it encrypt all these and the certificate authority issue certificate to the B. So now here party A and party B, sender A, receiver B, these two parties are for the sake of their communication, they get a certificate from certificate authority. After that, sender A, party A, so certificate authority is with help of certificate authority is communicating to B, and party B is with help of certificate authority of B communicating through A. So this is how the certificate authority, how they will help. So before taking the permission from certificate authority, once they get permission from certificate authority only, they are going to establish the communication between A and B. So this is about public key certificates. Next, public key distribution of secret keys. So now here, use previous methods to obtain public key. Can use for secrecy or authentication, but public key algorithms are slow. So as well, you want to use private key encryption to protect the message contents. Hence, needed a session key. I have several alternatives for negotiating suitable session. So this is the factors which are going to identify distribution of secret keys. Use previous method to obtain public key and use secrecy or authentication. Public algorithms are slow. As per this, public key algorithms are very slow, and they want to use private key. So that's why for encryption of the protected message, and so for that they require session key also, and have several alternatives for negotiating suitable sessions. So this is how public key distribution of secret keys. So now your secret keys, app session keys are involving private key, session key, secret key are same. They are going to involving individually encrypting and protection of personal messages. Right? Next, simple secret key distribution. Now here it is proposed by Merkley in 1979. So this is simple secret key distribution. Initially, A generates a new temporary public key, right? Then A sends to B, then public key and their identity. Then B generates a session key K, send it to A, then encrypted using separate public key. Then A decrypts the session key. A decrypt the session key, and both use. Problem is that an opponent can intercept. Problem is here. Problem is that an opponent can intercept and impersonate both halves of protocol, right? So this is simple secret key how it will be distributed, proposed by Maclean in 1979. So this is the uh, schematic diagram of how public key distribution of secret keys. If have securely exchanged public keys, initially initiator A, responder B, right? So initially in the first step, encryption of public key of B. So with first iteration, identification of A. So then once again, in second step, responder B is given response to the A. So encryption of public key of A with the help of public key of A. So in one, so into in communication steps. So these are two steps. So second step, they are going to communicating, and once again, now here initiator A is communicating. In third step, encryption of public key of B, right? Encryption of public key of B. So into duration. Then once again, initiator A is encryption of public key of B, then one and K5 key session key. Now here a secret key. Here we are using secure. We are using KS secret key of this A. We are going with the help of this. We are exchanging information. It's more secure to the responder B. So this is how securely the secret key exchange the information have to done, right? Now coming to here hybrid key distribution. So coming to here, so retain use of private key KDC and shares secret master key with each other. Distribute session key using master key. Public key distribute the master keys. Now here what actually hybrid key distribution means. Now here we are using public key, master key, session key, private key. So all these we are using. All this combination is known as hybrid key, right? So now public key used to distribute master keys, especially useful with widely distributed users. And the rational performance and backward compatibility. These are the rational, right? So now coming to here, so this is very well popular key exchanging algorithm is known as Diffie-Hellman key exchange. So the first public key type scheme is proposed by Diffie-Hellman in 1976, along with the exposition of public key concepts. So note now know that Williamson UK CSG secretly proposed the concept in 1970, but is a practical method for public exchange of secret key used in a number of commercial products. So we'll see how this Diffie element key exchange works. So Diffie element key exchange, a public key distribution scheme, basically it cannot be used to exchange any arbitrary message. Rather, it can establish a common key known only to the two participants. So only two participants exchange their keys. So we'll see how it is happening, and the value of key depends on the participants and their private and public key information. And next, based on exponential and a finite field, and security relies on the difficulty of computing and discrete algorithms, right? So here, Diffie element setup. All users agree on global parameters. Large prime integer or polynomial Q. A being a primitive root modulus of Q. Then each user, example A, generate their key and chooses a secret key number, that is x of A less than Q. Then compute their public keys y of A equal to a to the power of xa modulus of Q. Each user makes public that key y of A, right? Now here, shared session key for users A and B is k of AB. Now I would like to see how this k of AB, how we are going to exchange the key. So how A and B can compute together. K of AB equal to a to the power of x of A dot x of B modulus of Q. Now that is equals to y of a to the power of xb modulus of q, which b can compute, and y of b to the power of x of a modulus of q, which a can compute. So k of a b is used as session key in private key encryption scheme between Alice and Bob, right? If Alice and Bob subsequently communicate, they will have the same key as before unless they choose new public keys. Attackers needs an X must solve discrete log. Let's see. Now how the best example of this DFLMon key exchange is the users Alice and Bob who wish to swap keys agree on prime number q equal to 353 and a equal to 3. Select random secret keys. A chooses x of a equal 97. B chooses x of b equal to 33. Now here compute the respective public keys is y of a equal to 3 to the power 97. Modulus of 353 equal to 40. That is Alice. Now y of b equal to 3 to the power of 233. Modulus of 353 equal to 48. That is public key of Bob. And now here compute shared session key. So this shared session key is same. So now here k of b equal to y of b to the power of x of a modulus of 353, that is equal to 248 to the power of 97 equal to 160, and k of b equal to y to the power of a to the power of x b modulus of 353 equal to 40 to the power of 230, that is equal to 160. That is Bob. Now here shared key is same between these two parties and Alice and Bob's, right? Public keys are different, but shared keys are same here 160 160. So this is how public key exchange algorithm will works, especially for the failure key exchange. Now key exchange protocols. Users could create a random private or public DFLMon keys each time they communicate. And users could create a known private or public DFLMon key and publish in directory. And they can consult it and use it to securely communicate with them. And both of these are vulnerable to meet in the middle attack. Now here vulnerability means inherently the network will weakness. When if third person is entering into the network, that is nothing but meet in middle attack, man in the middle attack, or meet in the middle attack. You may call it as a meet in the middle attack or man in the middle attack also. So for this process we require authentication keys. Right now we'll see the summary of so how these keys are existed. So now here how considered distribution of public keys we have seen, public key distribution of secret keys we have seen, and DFL key exchange we have seen, right? So all these are the implementation of public key distribution of key management and that is DFL key exchange algorithm and its implementation. Right? Thank you very much.